like a foot wave hitting New York City. There are at least three sides to this debate. Those who think the film is a ham-handed attempt to influence the public unfairly on the side of those decrying global warming and against corporations and government. Those who think the film is an over-the-top wake-up call about the dangers of global warming. And those who are afraid that the film is so ridiculous as to make everybody dismiss the dangers of global warming. Joe Leydon would probably belong to none of the above. Film critic of Variety, author of Joe Leydon's Guide to Essential Movies You Must See. Mr. Leydon, good evening.
Good evening, Keith. And, you know, it's funny. The great French filmmaker Jean-Luc Godard once said that every film is a political act. That, you know, you look at even something like Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk can be interpreted as a political statement of the role of women in the 50s. So it's by no means incredible that even something that's really lightweight entertainment, basically, like Day After Tomorrow, would be parsed for hidden meaning.
Most articles I've seen attacking this film have used as the example the supposed direct connection between three events. Premiere of the movie China Syndrome, March 6, 1979. The minor nuclear accident at 3 Mile Island in Pennsylvania, March 28, 1979, and this country's failure to approve a single new nuclear plant since then. Does that logical fallacy leave out say the gigantic nuclear disaster at Chernobyl in 1986? Something missing there?
Well, but you've hit the nail on the head yourself when you say that Chernobyl didn't happen until about 10 years later. I think you could make the argument that a lot of people saw the China Syndrome, and, you know, maybe they didn't like Jane Fonda, but they certainly were upset that, you know, Jack Lemmon nearly got wasted in a nuclear meltdown, so this may have turned them off the whole idea of nuclear power. But there's a long history of Hollywood making movies that actually do influence political debates of the time. You go back to the 30s, you've got I Was a Fugitive from a Chain Gang, and this movie came out describing the horrendous conditions on chain gangs in the Deep South, and there were actually state legislatures that went ahead and passed new legislation regulating these sorts of things.
Last point, one of my favorite canards, I think, about this supposed anti-whatever film, it was produced by 20th Century Fox, which is owned by News Corp, which is owned by Rupert Murdoch. And Rupert Murdoch has to be one of the 2 or 3 most pro-business mammals on this planet. How could Rupert Murdoch and his flying monkeys have approved a flick that was designed to hurt governments or bash the establishment?
But you see, you've missed the real political point of this movie. It is the revenge of the red states. I mean, what happens in this movie? Los Angeles is wiped out by tornadoes. New York is hit by a tidal wave and then frosts over. And meanwhile, the good, righteous folks in the red states look at this movie and go, ah, Los Angeles, New York, Sodom, Gomorrah. The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, but there'll always be an East Coast and a West Coast, even if it's Chillicothe, Ohio, and Arbuckle, California. Joe Leydon, the film historian, film critic of the authoritative trade publication Variety. Many thanks for your time, sir.
Glad to be here.
Never has the segue been easier from our #2 story about